Welcome into Boxing Scene's top stories here on ProBox TV. Scan the QR code below to get the ProBox TV app and never fall behind in your boxing news. Well, there were a lot of beatings going on last Saturday when it came to Israel Madrimov versus Terence Crawford, but the biggest beating probably by Vegas, full of upsets, some deserved, some not, depending on your opinion. But one key upset, of course, was Isaac Pitbull Cruz and Jose Valenzuela. Valenzuela, a huge underdog, coming out with the win. The question, of course, is Valenzuela now owes Isaac Pitbull Cruz a rematch. Could things work out any differently? Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri joining me. Paulie, what do you think of a rematch? Is it deserved? Should we see it? And what are Valenzuela's chances of pulling it off again?
I think if there is a rematch, Valenzuela probably goes in as the favorite. It's really interesting because I'll tell you what, it's two fights in a row where Pitbull showed some deficiencies with a guy who can fight at range and is a mover. You know, we saw that in the Cabrera fight, but in the Valenzuela fight, personally, I wasn't sure Valenzuela could fight in a disciplined manner like that over the course of 12 rounds. I always felt the kid was exciting, but I felt like he had too much fight in him to be able to put together a masterful, disciplined performance for 12 rounds to basically take Pitbull to the kryptonite, you know, which is the style of fight that he doesn't want to fight, which is at range chasing his opponent. So I feel like Valenzuela it would be the favorite in the rematch. Pitbull, the onus is now on Pitbull to show us that he can make the adjustments, that he can fight guys at range. He should have already made this adjustment. He should have fixed these problems after seeing the way he looked against Cabrera, so that going into the Valenzuela fight, he could be ready for this. Maybe he himself didn't feel like Valenzuela could fight at range in a disciplined manner for all 12 rounds. Who knows? I think Valenzuela will be favored in the rematch. I think there's a deficiency there for Pitbull, but he's going to remain a fun fighter. He's an exciting fighter. This doesn't mean he all of a sudden can't be fun. 140-pound division has a lot of fun fights, fun possible matchups and possibilities. There's not one single dominant guy there, but there's a lot of good fighters that can make good fights.
Liam Paro, Teofimo Lopez, two of the names at 140 pounds. That leads to the next question, Chris. Could Valenzuela be great, or did he have a great night against Isaac Pitbull Cruz and take advantage of the physical disparity? Can he roll the weight class? It's very tough.
You know, it's a really good question, Jimmy, and we're really not going to know. It's very early in Valenzuela's career. I believe this is only his 16th pro fight. He's already a world champion. You know, tip my hat to him. He fought a great fight. And Champ, you brought up the Cabrera fight, and that looked like it was a fluke, right? We thought that Isaac Cruz just had a tough night with an awkward guy, but he showed the same deficiencies against another rangy southpaw in Valenzuela. He looked great against Rolly Romero. Obviously, that's where he won the title. That's where he picked it up. I believe the handlers of Cruz thought that Valenzuela was going to be another Rolly Romero type guy, a guy who doesn't have a ton of discipline. Very talented, good punching power, good hand speed, but not going to be able to stay disciplined and get hit with shots. Valenzuela showed that discipline, was able to box smartly for 12 rounds, used his tools, stayed within the pocket. Very good game plan, was able to execute throughout for 12 rounds. And yeah, those deficiencies of Cruz showed up once again. And I think it's going to be really important moving forward for Cruz, make sure he's fighting the right kinds of guys. You know, he's obviously having trouble with these taller, rangier guys. At 140, he's really behind the eight ball because he's so short. He's 5'3", 63-inch reach. Those are lightweight, even junior lightweight numbers. So fighting at 140, you got these bigger guys. Rayo's 5'10". So unless he can make some real tactical changes, I think he's going to struggle with all these guys at 140 who have that height and are able to fight at range.
Chris, if you're his manager, if you're the people around him, do you put him in the entertaining fights against guys you said maybe stay in the pocket and bang with them at lower weight classes rather than stay at 140 and fight these technical boxers? What would you advise?
I think he's definitely better served at 135 pounds. There's some big fights to be made there, some good money there as well. But listen, I wouldn't mind seeing him with Teofimo Lopez. I mean, Teofimo Lopez at 140, granted he is the uber talent, but he does fight up and down to his opponents sometimes. So it might not be a bad fight, but I think it's going to be actually a very exciting fight because Teofimo Lopez will stay in the pocket at times and giving Isaac Cruz some ability to get those punches off.
Pitbull versus Matias, that's what I want. Pitbull versus Matias.
Good fight too.
Paulie the matchmaker, he's always doing it. Of course, we appreciate this idea that looking forward, there are always options for a guy like Pitbull Cruz who brings the heat just like we do. That's right, your boxing news here on ProBox TV.
Wednesday Night Fights.
Dynamite action on Wednesday Night Fights every other Wednesday on your boxing channel.
Coming up on your next Wednesday Night Fights, August 21st. Former Unified World Champion Swift Jarrett Hurd takes on former Unified World Champion Jason Banana Rosario. Live from the ProBox Event Center in Plant City. Get your tickets at proboxtv.com or take your chances at the door. Wednesday Night Fights.
For more ProBox TV, scan the QR code on the screen or go to the App Store and Google Play. ProBox TV, your boxing channel.